watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. It's a DMV first warn day. We're expecting a wintry mix with icing conditions later this evening. Meteorologist Scott Sumner joins us now with the latest check on the forecast. Scott, it's been a roller coaster this week as far as weather. Monday and Tuesday, pretty nice. Today, a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. We did talk about this at this time yesterday, Mark, and it is coming to fruition. We do have a little bit of an update to the weather alerts that were shown yesterday. The National Weather Service has expanded the winter weather advisory now to include most of Charles County, St. Mary's County, all of really southern Maryland, and even down to places in northern Virginia like Spotsylvania County, where Fredericksburg resides. That was not yesterday under a winter weather advisory. Now all our counties are. Other than that, everything still stays in place with regards to seeing the ice storm warning, and the counties there have not changed whatsoever. Still looking at the greatest significant ice buildup out that way west of I-81. All right, so a little bit of a timeline for you. Here we go. So early evening mix starts to move in. So right now, the afternoon hours, yes, it does look gray. It's overcast out there, but it is dry at this point in time. So if you need to run some errands, do so during the course of the afternoon, and even possibly to as late as maybe a 7 o'clock or so out to our western counties of DC. But a greatest ice buildup is going to occur overnight while much of us are sleeping, and that does include sleet and freezing rain that starts to move into the DC area early on Thursday. So Thursday morning's commute will not be a fun ride coming or going anywhere. Certainly you need to take your time getting from place to place. Now, having said that, we will start to see a clearing of all this mess by the lunchtime hours of Thursday, if not slightly before. Now, as far as temperatures are concerned, you can see those numbers here, much cooler than what we saw yesterday. We're going to be staying and hovering around 40 degrees for the next couple of hours before falling throughout the 30s. Stick around. I've got more details and a timeline for your next storm tonight coming up in a bit.
All right, Scott. Thank you. Well, it's been almost a week since the deadly mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and a military helicopter. Right now, crews say that they've recovered the remains of all the victims, but how this happened is still the big question. DC News Now's Jean-Marie Sasay has the latest.
The remains of all 67 victims have been recovered, and all but one has been identified. Now crews are working to support the families and also get to the bottom of this investigation. You can see them out here trying to find all parts of the American Airlines jet and also the Black Hawk helicopter here at the Potomac River. Now they were able to find pieces like the right wing, part of the left wing, parts of the cockpit, the TCAS computer, quick access recorder, and more from the American Airlines jet, and now their efforts are focusing on recovering parts of the Black Hawk helicopter. Now, as families continue to mourn the loss of their loved ones, Unified Command extended their condolences and say they're committed to supporting them. A lawyer who's represented families of plane crash victims and also a former navigator says they can expect to see some lawsuits being filed soon.
I mean, you've got a tragic loss of life that really should have been avoided. These families are never driven by money or recovery, but just why did this happen, and why did it happen to my loved one on this day?
As crews continue to work to find answers to this devastating incident, they aren't asking anyone that may see anything near the Anacostia or Potomac River to contact police immediately and do not touch anything. Reporting at Oregon National, I'm Jean-Marie Sasay, DC News Now.
Jean-Marie, thank you. Developing now out of Maryland, Prince George's County police investigating the deadly shooting overnight in Accokeek. It happened on Livingston Road. Police say they found the woman with a gunshot wound on the scene. She was pronounced dead there. Police are now asking anyone with information to give them a call. And developing overnight, two teenagers shot in southeast D.C., and police say a 17-year-old boy died of his injuries. Police say that the shooting happened around 7 between the apartment complexes on 6th Street. A 16-year-old boy who was shot is expected to be okay.
We're in the early stages of this investigation, but we can share that we believe this event occurred after an altercation between individuals known to one another. All right, we're asking anyone with any information to please reach out to us.
Yeah, so far, no arrests have been made. Staying in the district, police have made an arrest after a shooting in Navy Yard. Investigators responded to First Street Southeast just around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. The victim was taken to the hospital. Police say the shooting was domestic in nature. Well, Trayon White no longer a D.C. council member. In an unprecedented move, the council voted unanimously to expel the Ward 8 council member who's accused of accepting bribes. Dozens of White's supporters filled the council's chamber during yesterday's expulsion vote. An ad hoc committee led the investigation into White. They found substantial evidence that he broke city code, ultimately leading to his expulsion. White was indicted on one charge of federal bribery and is accused of accepting cash in exchange for his influence on city contracts. After the vote, White immediately left council chambers and did not make any comments to reporters, including if he would rerun for his seat in the upcoming special election.
Trust is critical for an elected government.
Not one of those people have ever come and knocked on, even walked on my street, including the chairman, to say, how do you feel?
A special election is expected to happen soon. The Board of Election is in charge of initiating that, and nothing stops White from running in that election. In the meantime, the at-large council members say that those who live in Ward 8 will still be represented through them. Well, D.C. Council officially transferring ownership of the RFK Stadium site to the district. Council unanimously passed a resolution. Whether a new stadium will be built there and who would pay for it is still up in the air. Well, the Virginia General Assembly having its crossover day. It's the halfway point when bills introduced in one chamber must be sent to the other in order to be considered for the rest of the session. A Democratic-controlled House of Delegates passed hundreds of bills yesterday. That includes one to create a retail market for recreational marijuana and another to ban the sale of new assault weapons, both of which Governor Glenn Youngkin vetoed last year, and the House passed a bill to set up a state-run paid family and medical leave insurance program. It would give people paid time off if they have a baby or a serious health condition and more.
Family and medical leave ensures that individuals have a roof over their head, food on their table, and access to quality, affordable health care during life's toughest moments.
This, Mr. Speaker, is going to take money out of every paycheck, out of every employer. It is a $3 billion tax.
It's important to note budget bills are not subject to the crossover deadline, so that means that lawmakers still have time to pass those proposed budgets in each chamber. The Virginia House of Delegates will soon take up a bill that would allow the creation of a casino in Tysons. It passed the Senate yesterday by a vote of 24-16. The bill would also allow an entertainment district to be built around the casino. If the bill passes in the legislature and is signed by the governor, it would go to the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors. After that, it would have to be approved by voters. In national news, an ongoing battle over the fate of USAID continues, with the Trump administration placing the directive to hire staffers on leave. Well, the order takes effect midnight Friday. Then workers will have 30 days to return home from across the globe. This impacts all workers except those deemed essential. Thousands of the agency's employees already have been laid off and programs worldwide shut down after President Trump imposed a freeze on foreign aid after taking office. Well, a return to work order, executive order for many federal workers is having a significant impact on commuters. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has more on how Metro says it's seeing record numbers.
Traffic on the railways and on the roadways has picked up in the last 2 weeks.
I have noticed it. Originally it was just on Wednesdays because that's usually a day when everybody is in the office, but now it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Not so much as Friday, although I'll be returning to the office on Friday next week.
That's largely because of President Trump's return to work executive order. On Monday, the Office of Personnel Management sent a memo to department and agency heads saying union contracts that go against management's wishes for telework are unlawful and cannot be enforced. The American Federation of Government Employees, the largest federal workforce union, says it plans to challenge that.
I understand the people who are bothered and concerned about it, like who have to change their lives, add money to their commute, stuff like that. I get that part. It doesn't affect me quite as much as it does others.
The order is benefiting Metro, which says it's seeing record ridership numbers.
Oh, definitely, yes. Metro's packed, right? Standing room only.
Monday's 8 to 9 a.m. hour had 92,600 trips, the highest Monday rush since 2020.
Metro is started to build up a little bit, but it's part of the job. It's part of life, so I'll keep doing it.
On the other hand, if federal workers want to accept the Trump administration's deferred resignation offer, they have to do so by Thursday.
I have several friends that are in other agencies who aren't going to take it. In this state that we're in, most people want to keep their jobs rather than get rid of them.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.
Our thanks to Daniel. New at noon, big changes for the Washington Wizards. According to ESPN, the Wizards have completed a trade sending forward Kyle Kuzma to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Wizards getting forward Chris Middleton and also the Bucks' first-round draft choice from last year, guard A.J. Johnson. Our sports team is working to confirm the trade, and we're going to have much more coming up on DC News Now at 4.